Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has ordered the closure of bars and restaurants in the midst of the uptick of coronavirus cases across the state. This all comes after the CDC recommended organizers cancel or postpone events with 50 people or more for 8 weeks. And President Donald Trump followed that up today to avoid gatherings of 10 or more people. The Minnesota Department of Health says the number of coronavirus cases in the state has climbed from 35 to 54. So far, nearly 2,000 people have been tested for the disease in Minnesota.
Everything we're doing and started weeks ago is to try and keep these numbers. We're not going to stop this from spreading, but we can stop how fast it spreads, and we can make sure that we protect those most vulnerable.
In Minnesota, the governor's order goes into effect at 5 tomorrow afternoon and is expected to remain in place until March 27th. Drive-thrus, takeout, and delivery are still available. More North Dakotans were tested over the weekend, bringing the total number of people tested for COVID-19 to 124. But still, there is only one positive case of COVID-19 in the state at this time. And the cities of Fargo, West Fargo, and Cass County declared emergencies today, all to combat the spread of the coronavirus. According to Johns Hopkins University, the United States currently has about 4,500 positive coronavirus cases. And as more states increase testing, the higher coronavirus areas could change. In Ohio, at last check, the state had less than 50 positive test results, but plans to ramp up testing. You can view this map live on our website, valleynewslive.com. The United States is tracking about 10 days behind Italy. Yesterday, Italy's Minister of Health said of the 20,000 positive tests, more than half of those patients are in the hospital. And don't forget about scammers as you go about dealing with the coronavirus. The Better Business Bureau reminds you to use common sense and find reliable sources to stay informed about what to do as the virus spreads. Valley News Team's Mike Morken is here with myths that have surfaced and the truth surrounding them.
Living here in the Valley exposes us to all kinds of weather conditions and snow. But don't kid yourself, these conditions cannot kill coronavirus. According to the World Health Organization, the average body temperature is about 98.6 degrees, and that's regardless of the external temperatures or conditions.
Another myth has to do with vaccines against pneumonia protecting you against the new coronavirus. The answer there is no. The virus is so new and different that it needs its own vaccine, and researchers are working to develop one.
Although these vaccines are not effective against coronaviruses, vaccination against respiratory illnesses is highly recommended to protect your health.
Another thing to keep in mind is that antibiotics do not work against viruses, only bacteria. We're dealing with a virus here. However, if you are hospitalized for coronavirus, you may receive antibiotics because bacterial co-infection is possible.
To date, there is no specific medicine to treat or prevent coronavirus. Some treatments are under investigation or are being tested through clinical trials. The World Health Organization is said to be accelerating the research and development efforts. In South Fargo, Mike Morken, Valley News Live.
You can find more information on COVID-19, including a running list of closings and a map with case totals online at valleynewslive.com. And some viewers have been wondering why Mike isn't here. He recently returned from a vacation to Jamaica. He's fine, but according to company policy, he will be working from home over the next 2 weeks, part of a voluntary quarantine.
There's a lot of kids out there that don't have a meal.
With Minnesota and North Dakota schools closed due to the coronavirus, many families here in the Valley are wondering what is next for the children who rely on school lunches every day. Central Cass Schools is offering free breakfast and lunch for kids tomorrow. You can pick up a grab-and-go bag from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. West Fargo is doing the same, also tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. Fargo is also offering the meal deal starting Wednesday, March 19th. Over in Moorhead, they're working to put a similar plan in place that will also start on Wednesday. You can find those pickup locations online or on the Valley News Live news app. Minnesota and North Dakota children are home from school today after state leaders made the decision to close schools to help stop the spread of COVID-19. For both children and parents, this is a big change to their lives, having their normal schedule disrupted. We ask experts how to ease that transition.
Routine and continuity is extremely important for young people as they experience challenging times. When they are absent the routine of a school, their anxiety may escalate.
School leaders are asking parents and guardians to help keep kids safe during this coronavirus pandemic, but also alleviating stresses that may come from the current circumstances.
One of the best questions that we can do as adults is to ask children, what have you heard? And so that child can then share what they may have heard.
Experts are advising open, honest, and accurate conversations to ease some of the anxiety or fear without overwhelming children with information.
Really normalize and really validate those feelings. Let them feel those feelings, right? Encourage them to connect with their emotions and feel them. And then let's try to challenge some of those worries.
Dandurn advises assuring children that these changes are happening to protect them, not to scare them. While changes are happening, it's also important to still have routines.
Having a similar plan to what they had at school. It can take a little bit of time to develop that, and it's okay to start gradually and move toward more and more structure.
This could mean waking up and going to bed as usual, lunch at the same time your child would at school, or simply planning activities to keep the brain active.
Having structure and routine is going to be really important to decrease feelings of loneliness, overwhelm, frustration, and so it's important to be able to challenge yourself with trying new things, being inspiring those around us to create and explore.
Creating a positive space for children at home. North Dakota's Department of Public Instruction has more information on how to support your children. You can find the links on our website or on the Valley News Live news app. Parents of children with special needs are facing some challenges this week. Dee Neustral's son Grant has autism and is enrolled in special classes in Bismarck. But with school closed for the week across North Dakota, Dee is trying to find ways to keep him entertained and educated. The consistency of going to school every day is beneficial for Grant, who is severely autistic. He receives specialization through classes and one-on-one time at school.
And my son, he needs that stimulation. He needs to get out of the house. It's a curriculum like anything else in school, which I'm not qualified to do. So he's not getting that constant, we're doing this at this time, and at home it's always a different setting.
Now Dee is depending on Grant's therapy to remain open to provide him with exercises and activities. We're cooling off out there, but wondering if we'll be getting any disruptive weather in the near future. Let's go to the First Alert Storm Team Center for more on the overnight and morning forecast. Hutch?
All right, thanks a lot, Katie. As we take a look at that sky cam, it's quiet now. It's been a breezy day, and we started out the work week with a dash of snow, inconsequential here in Fargo, with 0.3 of an inch measured here. Many of our neighbors to the north and northeast saw significantly more. Yes, we are watching a storm system that's going to impact the central and northern plains heading through our midweek on Wednesday. This European model shows a storm developing in Colorado. As it does so, it could bring some light snow Wednesday afternoon here across the valley, and some of us will actually get rain. Then as the storm lifts into the northern plains, very heavy bands of snow from eastern South Dakota into southern Minnesota look to take shape, and this model says the brunt of the storm looks to stay to our south as we go through the event. Now, the American model, on the other hand, well, it agrees with the starting location of the storm in Colorado, but as we look on Wednesday, we'll see more widespread stormy weather here, and then as it lifts into the northern plains, it brings some of our southern counties, some moderate to very heavy snow, says the American model. As we let that track through, it moves right into southern Minnesota and the Twin Cities. Now, based on what's happened throughout the winter, Hutch puts a little more weight in the European model. I think it's going to stay to the south, but that's not to say we won't see some Wednesday wet and even white 22, feels like 14. Our winds finally settling down under 10 miles per hour from the west. Notice that cool pool of air up north in the teens there, mid-teens as a matter of fact for you in Thief River Falls. Fergus Falls 27, 30 degrees in Gwinner Valley City. You have 25, and with the wind, it feels like it's in the single digits above and below zero for our northern counties. The satellite and radar very quiet here. We have more clouds out to the west. A look at the national picture showing that we do have some stormy weather making its way on to the west coast, and we'll keep our eyes on that system as we go through the week. Obviously, that's the one impacting us. Now, as we take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast overnight, temperatures dip into the teens. That's about it. We might see a single-digit reading up in northern Minnesota. Notice that we'll have a few clouds up there. Can't rule out a renegade flake of snow. Otherwise, we start the day off with sunshine and much warmer weather in our southern counties. By the afternoon, we'll roast things up into the 30s to near 40s for the south. The wind picks up a little bit late in the day, mainly in the far south. Up north, we'll break into the 20s to near 30 degrees, and then late, as a warm burst of air moves in, we could have a very brief shot of mixed precipitation. This will be after the 10 o'clock hour into our Wednesday morning. Your planner looks like this. Teens to start, sunny and climbing into those 30s for the afternoon. Wind, not a problem tomorrow. We'll have a southerly component to that at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. More clouds late. Remember, nighttime showers of mixed precipitation possible, mainly after 10. Down south, 30 to 40 degrees. Up north, 20s. Look at the melt taking place up to the Breckenridge area there. The ice on the trees and the water level down below it. Great shot. Thanks for uploading. Here's a look at your planning forecast. Midweek Wednesday, 38 degrees, but that's the beginning of rain and sleet in our area. I think that'll be the worst of the 2 days for us, but our neighbors south and southeast will get a big system on Thursday. Cold into Friday, and then the first weekend of spring, Katie, looks very spring-like.
Well, it's something to look forward to, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that storm in the meantime.
That's what we'll do.
All right. Thank you, Hutch.
You bet.
Still to come tonight, organizations around North Dakota are making sure children are being fed this week while they're away from school.